Playmobil is like a moving piece of art. Cardboard. I have just taken a cardboard box and cut off the parts that you fold down, the sides, some from other boxes. So make sure you get an adult to help you to cut them off of the box, and make sure that if it does have any kind of tape or lettering, that it does have a blank side. So most of mine have a blank side. Now, depending on the size of your cardboard, will depend on which rainbow you need to print out. I have one that I've shrunk down to 50%, 75%, and then obviously the big one is at 100%. So if you had 4 pieces of large cardboard, you cut the box completely apart, you could use that big piece. Obviously, I really don't want to be cutting that much cardboard, so I'm going to use my smaller pieces. So that's what I've shrunk it down to. I think the 75% one is going to work for me. So just know that those 3 are in your classroom. So if you see, you're going to cut each rainbow apart. So I take my 3 shapes that you're working from. So get your pieces of cardboard, and I'm only doing 2 layers, so I'm gonna have the top be these 2 I'm gonna trace, and then the bottom is gonna be the smaller 2 I trace. So I'm gonna trace the middle one twice. So once I've got them cut out, then I'm gonna lay it on my cardboard, get a marker, and we talked about this, make sure your hat's on the back. When you are tracing, you need to take your other hand and hold the template down, because if you don't hold it down, it's going to move everywhere. So make sure that you're holding the template down. And because this piece is already cut, I'm gonna try to stay with any edge I don't have to cut, because cardboard is hard to cut. So again, you will need an adult to help you with cutting, oops, make sure I'm on the cardboard, cutting your cardboard. Okay, so I've traced the first one. I'm gonna trace the second one. So those are the only 2 that I'm gonna be using for this. So if your parent is helping you, they may have an X-Acto knife. They can just cut through this. I do not right now, so I'm just using my trusty scissors. I hope they don't break. That to the side. I'm not going to cut it apart completely yet. I'm just going to wait. Take my next piece. I'm going to trace. Get this on there, can I? No. So I'm going to trace my next 2 on the other piece. Again, hold the template down with your other hand. Again, bring your template to the bottom of your cardboard so you're not cutting more than you have to. Smaller pieces. Again, I trace the smaller pieces on the second piece. Okay. So I'm going to do the same thing. Cut off the excess. Okay. So, see. So I'm going to take my 2 pieces. I'm actually going to add the paint before I cut off, separate them, because that way it will be a lot easier to paint them. So I'm going to get my paint. You can use craft paint, and just make sure you have a paper plate to squirt them on. So I'm actually going to be using the Tempera semi-moist cake paints that I actually already have, because I tested it on a square and they actually work pretty well on cardboard. So I'm gonna get that stuff ready. I'm gonna paint my cardboard. Please remember, you can pick any color you want to do your rainbow. You do not have to do it the color of the rainbow. Since there's only 2 parts to the rainbow, you really can't fit all the colors on there. So pick your colors and paint your rainbow. Okay, so I have my paint ready. Now I just realized, as Ms. Lawson does, is this black line is with the washable marker, so it will bleed into the paint. So my goal is to kind of stay off the black line, because I'm actually going to cut on the black line. so we won't see it anymore. I really don't want to see that black line, and I can't flip it over because obviously there's something on the other side. So I'm gonna get my paint. I may have to do a couple layers of this, so you'll just have to see how much paint and what paint you're using, but you're gonna stick with one color. So I'm gonna let this first layer dry. Once it's dry, then I'm gonna see if I need to do another layer to make the color a little bit more vibrant. And then we'll come back and I'll show you what we are gonna do to put this together. You will need yarn, so some kind of string or yarn to connect it. Okay, so got my dried pieces now and I'm ready to cut. Now I did find an X-Acto knife, but again, please make sure that an adult is using one. If you have one, do not use it. Scissors will work too, they just may take you a little bit longer. I have my table protected. I do not want to use my knife on this table because it will cut my table up. So I've got another piece of cardboard underneath it, and I'm going to cut apart my colors. And my goal is to not have the black line anymore. So I'm gonna try to cut off Again, if your cardboard bends, don't worry, it will rebound. Okay, so technically my mobile is gonna go like this. Now, I did have yarn, and if you have string, that will work too, like sewing string. I already had a kids sewing tool already with me, obviously. If you don't, you can use glue. You're just gonna glue the string on the back of your mobile, not on the front. So you'd flip it over and you would just take your tacky glue and your yarn or string, and you would glue a piece to the back here, leave a little space, then glue to the back there, and then continue up, leaving a little space so they kind of hang separate. And then obviously you would leave some at the top to create a loop for you to hang. So you can use glue or tacky glue to glue the string on the back if you don't have a needle. The needle is supposed to go through the cardboard and bring the string. So there are tiny holes through. So if you bring that through the hole, and then same thing, find a hole and bring your yarn through. And you could probably use a regular sewing needle for this. And again, I don't want to bring it too close to each other. Oh, my yarn's good. Pull my other string all the way out. And then I'm going to knot. I'm going to put a knot, and you could put a knot, or you should have put a knot at the end and the beginning so it doesn't move. We'll see if I need to go back and do that, if it doesn't move, but it's pretty tight in there, so I don't think I'm gonna need that. So I'm gonna tie a knot at the top. And bring it there. And then to make the hanging loop, you can just loop it and then tie that. And then you can cut the excess yarn off, and then I'm gonna come down to the bottom. So then when you pick it up, it should hang. And I know the thing about a mobile is it turns. I did not paint both sides, so obviously that one's not painted. So you could paint both sides of your cardboard depending on time, but I kind of like the look of just the cardboard. So if you were able to make our rainbow cardboard mobile, I'd like to see it. So make sure you post some photos either on our HES Hillcrest Art Room Facebook, Instagram, or send it on Dojo.